Sup, it's Hallie. Welcome back to the Rising Knight. We last left off. It was Yuri and Natsuki had another argument. And now Natsuki's sad, I guess? Natsuki! Reaching the bottom of the stairs, I call out to Natsuki again, but receive no response back. Jeez, why did she have to go running out like that? At this point, I've made it all the way down the hall and have lost sight of her completely. Crap. This is nothing like the last time. When they first argued, Sayori was able to calm the situation in a heartbeat. But now it's like they completely ignored her, escalating the fight to a point that I haven't ever seen before. The last time they had a serious argument was when I first joined. Don't get me wrong, they haven't exactly been the closest of friends since then. Their differing styles alone keep them separated in the clubroom at almost every club meeting. But they've always been friends at heart, despite all of their differences. However, for them to ever have an argument as intense as that almost feels unnatural. It can't be because of Hallie, can it? No, that'd be too much of a coincidence. Although there isn't really anything else I can think of to explain what happened, so anything's on the table at this point. I take a moment to call out to Natsuki once more, but there's still no response. It's no use. She's probably not even in the school anymore anyway. I hope this doesn't drive Hallie away. He seems like a cool dude. Maybe be a little reserved, but I'm sure he would have lightened up a little over time. As if on cue, I see Hallie approaching from the direction of the club. That's what he looks like. Very informed look on this guy. Hey, is everything alright? Yeah. What about you? You ran out. Oh, everything's fine here, don't worry. I was seeing if I could catch up with Natsuki is all. She'll be back, she'll be back in the club soon. You shouldn't worry about it. But she's a friend. And I've just never seen her like this before. We've had their arguments in the past, but nothing like this. I'm sorry. I really shouldn't expect you to understand. If this makes it... I was saying something. Man. If this makes you not want to be part of the club, It'll all be fine, Eli. The others are still in the club. You can talk to her tomorrow. Hallie walks past me without looking back a single time. You don't have to worry about me, by the way. I'm so used to reading my regular words. You don't have to worry about me, by the way. I'll be fine as well. Later. But... Hallie continues walking in silence until he takes an eventual corner down the hall, leaving my sight completely. He said the others are still in the club. Maybe I could check if Yuri's doing alright. I quickly run back up the stairs, hoping to catch her before Monika inevitably dismisses the club. A brisk walk back to the club reveals Sayori and Monika standing just outside. No sign of Yuri, though. Hey, Sayori! Is everything alright with Yuri? Sayori doesn't respond with much more than a bothered look upon her face. I do eventually get an answer from Monika, however.
Yuri left just a moment ago, but she's doing fine. She just needs a little time alone is all.
Are you sure she's alright? They both looked very upset. Monika nods assuringly.
Oh, were you able to catch up with Natsuki?
No, sorry. She left before I was able to.
Oh. It's okay, Eli. I'm sure you'll be able to talk with her tomorrow.
But... Audio-ending text boxes, man. But how do you know if she'll... I cut myself off, remembering Hallie told me the exact same thing. First him, and now Monika too, and here I was thinking Hallie just didn't understand. Sayori doesn't make any objections either, so maybe there's some truth to what they've said. If you say so, Monika.
Eli, since the club's dismissed, would you like to walk home now?
Of course, let me just grab my backpack.
I got you covered, Eli.
Oh, thanks, Monika. Monika hands over my backpack, and the three of us make our ways towards the exit, or the school's exit. However, as we near the stairs, I can't help but notice something off. I saw Natsuki go this way, and Hallie too, but I don't recall seeing Yuri. Did she go to the other exit? Assuming she took that kind of detour, I'd be willing to bet she didn't want to take any risks of running into me. She must really need her time alone. After a few minutes of walking, We reached the school's front entrance. Just as we waved goodbye to Monica, I remember something. Wait, Monica! We still doing that narrative poem for our next club meeting?
Yeah. I think we all still need a little more practice with narrative poems anyway. Even I didn't do so hot on the whole narrative part of it all. But with enough effort, I'm sure we'll all become confident enough to try out our short stories.
Right, I understand. I'll make sure to do a little better on the next one, then.
Me too! I'll be looking forward to it, you too.
With my question answered, Sayori and I begin our short walk home. Ah, home sweet home. I say that as I drop off my backpack near the couch whilst immediately heading over towards the kitchen for a midday snack. Unfortunately, there remains little to no options for me to choose from. How is it still midday if they just got out of school? It'd be like early evening. Instant ramen, minute rice. Come on, there's gotta be something. Minutes of searching later, I decide to settle for a simple yogurt cup to ease my hunger. Better than nothing, I guess. I place my yogurt cup just off to the side of my desk as I grab a singular sheet of lined paper and a pen. There's no better time to get started on this narrative poem than now. That way I have the time to binge this anime Natsuki recommended me a while back. Johnny Joe's Insane Experiences. Totally not a parody of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I've been meaning to get to it, but I always end up forgetting. But with all the stuff that's happened at the club today, I can't help but be reminded of it. Maybe I could talk to Natsuki about it tomorrow to ease the tension a little. As of now, however, my mind's brought upon the paper in front of me. Let's see. I pull out my poem from today to use as a reference. Looking at it now, I realize I left the setting very vague. I do mention when the man enters his home, when he goes into the shower, and when he leaves his house, but those are only mentions and not the actual settings of the story itself. In fact, I'd say it's really not much of a setting at all. More like someone describing what they think happens to them wherever they go. I guess for a narrative poem this can work, but not so much for a coherent story. Staring intensely at the blank sheet of paper, I find it difficult to put even a single word down. Maybe I can look for some examples online? I boot up my computer and search the web for any useful examples of narrative poems and short stories I could find. Short stories simply because if we're going to be moving in the direction going forward, I'm sure it wouldn't hurt to get a little ahead of the game. Eventually I find some examples that prove useful and begin putting pen to paper. Sat on a spare cafe seat in the back kitchen, I write my narrative poem on a recently unfolded sheet of paper. It's a quiet day today, just like it was last week, so I have plenty of free time to use to my advantage. Every now and then, however, I feel the presence of an onlooker. Said onlooker being none other than my annoying coworker.
So, are you gonna say what you're doing now?
I already said, none of your business. I fold the paper each time she asks, preventing her from getting a clear look at what I've been writing. The paper in question is roughly half the size of the average sheet of paper, making it a quick and easy process to fold. She's attempted to grab it out of my hand a few times so far, all of which she failed miserably to pull off. Each time I simply hide it folded in the palm of my hand and wait for her to give up. Thankfully, it's just us two in today. I couldn't imagine trying to write a poem with more people trying to rip it from my hands. That being said, it brings up the question of how I'm going to write these going forward. It seems Tuesdays and Thursdays only have the two of us working, so that's simple enough. Obviously, on the weekends I'll have plenty of time to get something done in the morning or for Mondays. But on Mondays and Wednesdays I work until after midnight. For the time being, I might just have to resort to writing them during lunch or whatever other free time I get after classes. Better than showing up with nothing, I suppose. I think for a second, wondering why I even decided to add this all on top of my schedule in the first place. However, my coworker uses this brief moment of opportunity to snatch the near-finished poem out of my hand.
Aha! Finally!
Hey, give that back. I launch from the chair, attempting to take back the poem. But just like I did to her, she folds the poem in the palm of her hand. Damn it. Just hand it back already.
Nope, not until you tell me what it's for.
Why does it even matter?
Because you've been working on it for the past half hour now. Besides, I just want to look at it, that's all.
Not a chance. I try to reach for the hand containing my poem, but every time I get close, she retreats back. This puts us in a seemingly never-ending loop of us fighting over a damn poem. It isn't until she takes an extra step back and reveals the poem locked between two of her fingers that the loop finally breaks. I go to reach once more, but she grasps the other side of the poem with her other hand, causing me to back away. What do you think you're doing?
It's simple. You won't let me read it. I may just have to rip it up.
And what do you expect to get out of that? She thinks for a second, but ultimately doesn't give an answer aside from a slight shrug of her shoulders. Just give me the fucking paper already.
Language!
Oh, that's probably not her, huh? Some fuddy-duddy just came in. Language! I turn my head over to the front, where an old woman and a child stand just behind the counter. Ah, shit.
I would go help them if I were you.
I reluctantly go to the front counter, quickly thinking of whatever I can do to ease the situation. There's really only one thing I can do. Reaching the counter, I force a fake smile onto my face. I'm terribly sorry about that, ma'am. Is there anything I can help you with? Yes, I'd like a chocolate ice cream sundae and a cappuccino for me. But maybe you could clean up that potty mouth of yours too while you're at it. I'm truly sorry about that, ma'am. How about I add a cookie for each of you with that, free of charge? Oh, that sounds wonderful. The old woman turns to her grandkid, asking which type of cookie he would prefer. He simply points to one of the sprinkled sugar cookies, not saying a word. We'll take 2 of the sugar cookies, please. Sure, ma'am. While picking up the 2 cookies, I feel something tap the side of my right shoulder. Looking back, I notice my coworker with my folded poem in her outstretched hand.
You can have this back now.
Before she can say another word, I snatch the poem out of her hand, my already fake smile skewing into more of a grimace.
I thought it was pretty good. Don't know why you were trying to hide it so much.
I refrain from responding, knowing there's still an old woman and child behind me who will give me shit if I say anything that isn't family-friendly. Through gritted teeth, I attempt my best customer service voice. We'll have your cappuccino and ice cream sundae ready right away, ma'am. An hour or so goes by, and the day's just about wrapped up. We haven't spoken a word to each other since the incident, or rather, I haven't said a word to her.
Come on, you gotta say what that little poem's for, or what? You're so boring, you know that?
Her annoyingly persistent questioning has gone on since I got my poem back. Thankfully, the cleanup work in the kitchen has kept me preoccupied, allowing me to ignore her until the last hour of the workday. I really take what I said back. Tuesdays and Thursdays might be harder than I thought. That's not even mentioning how tired I've been all day. I've tried to hide it as best I can, but it's been difficult to keep myself from yawning every other few seconds. Especially now where it's past midnight. Looks pretty light out there, my dude, but I guess this is like inside the mall, huh? I'll be able to rest soon enough, at least. It seems the last customer just exited the cafe. Before my coworker's able to notice, I quickly speak up. You're closing tonight, by the way. See ya.
What? Hey! I was saying something. I said I was leaving it to you.
I close the cafe door before I'm able to hear the rest of her sentence. I'm so tired, I can barely keep my eyelids open enough to see where I'm going. If it weren't for the occasional street lamp every few meters or so, I might have just picked the nearest bench and slept there for the night. Thankfully, I can rest easy knowing my apartment isn't far from the city. It's just 10 more minutes away is all. On a normal day, I could never imagine taking a bus to and from work. Especially not while wearing a sad excuse for a work uniform. But such a thing is tempting when you can barely stand on your own 2 feet in the dead of night. Maybe I can take the shortcut this time around. Reaching an intersection on the road, I run towards an alleyway. Looks quiet tonight, I might just be able to slip by. Now inside the alleyway, I hear nothing but the faint sounds emitting from the surrounding apartment rooms. I'm surprised the city's as silent as it is tonight. It's something I'm definitely not used to. A minute of walking later, and I can hear the imperceptible sounds of some conversation up ahead. It's difficult to make out exactly what they're saying, but my brain attempts to interpret it anyway. Turning the corner, the sounds of the conversation become more comprehensible. Eventually, I reach a divide in the alleyway, coming across the silhouettes of 3 guys.
I don't think he's gonna be fine with this, or just this much. Yeah, well, huh? Hey, kid. It's already past midnight. Shouldn't you be at home?
What are they on about?
We talking to you, pirate boy. Didn't your mommy ever tell you Halloween's the last day of the month?
Oh, right. Almost forgot about my stupid uniform. I knew it was only a matter of time before I started getting called out.
If you're looking for some candy, you're better off running home, kid.
So much for the alleyway being quiet. Whatever, I just won't take this route next time, I suppose.
Please, help! I thought we told you to shut the hell up.
Huh? What was that? I attempt to wake myself up by rubbing the outer parts of my eyes. It's only now that I fully take notice of the guys in the distance. One of the guys holds a bat over their shoulder, another has his hands in his pockets, and the third holds a wallet and seems to be nicely dressed in comparison to the other 2. Except that's not what attracts my attention. And between the gaps of their feet, I can make out someone lying injured on the ground. Their unresponsive bodily movements imply a lack of consciousness, although I'm not exactly close enough to visualize the whole situation. I heard the guy call out to me just a moment ago, I think, so perhaps he only recently was knocked out? Wait, are these guys some type of thugs or something?
Talk again, and next time it'll be your kneecaps. Hey, Bud, why's that kid still over there? Is he? I guess you're right. You know we told you to fuck off, right, kid?
Yep. Sounds like a couple of lowly thugs to me. I don't really want to deal with this right now. Turning back to exit the passageway, I overhear them mutter something just barely intelligible.
Maybe we can pay this guy's dues with whatever that kid's got. That doesn't sound like a bad idea.
Overhearing them say this causes me to stop in my tracks for a moment.
Hey, kid! Why don't you come here for a sec?
I'm not interested.
You think I care if you're interested? I said come here!
Hearing his footsteps approaching, I return my attention towards the others. The guy with the bat seems to be the one walking towards me. The others stay close to the man on the ground. They can't be serious. What's your deal?
You see, that man over there owes us a good sum of cash. Unfortunately, it seems he's shy just a couple bucks.
So
we was wondering if maybe you can, I don't know, help that man out a little bit.
Why should I care for him?
Why should you care for him? It's an innocent man right over there in desperate need for some extra cash. Don't you want to be a good Samaritan?
Well, maybe if he had more cash on hand, he wouldn't be in this predicament. Being him all he want, I've got somewhere to be.
Well, we're still gonna need payment. And one way or another, we're gonna get it.
The man repositions the bat off his shoulder, pointing it towards my direction. He's not gonna let me just walk out of this one, now is he? Inside my pocket rests a silver coin, of which I pull out. The coin twirls in the air, suspending my next action. The thug swiftly creeps forward, his bat ready to be swung in my direction. I can only step back in the anticipation of an attack, missing the coin as it continues falling to the ground. Damn, it was just a feint, and I fell for it too.
Looks like you dropped something there. You're not scared, are you?
The thug mockingly spins his bat, looking down at the dropped coin.
We're gonna need a lot more than this, kid. No worries. Just drop whatever you got in your wallet real quick and we'll let you pass, we promise.
I'll just have to pick that coin up later. There's no use in trying right now. Regardless of the result, there's really only one thing I can do right now.